You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 137.1, our scoreboard for all of the boys basketball programs in Blackford, Delaware, Grant, Howard, Madison, Tipton, and northern Hamilton counties, with an interview with Tipton head coach Cliff Hawkins by Michelle Garmon, and Greg's and Michelle's game predictions for Saturday, revealed to you by Producer Susie.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report, we are proud of you for making good life choices. Today is January 4th, 2025. It's a Saturday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and I love Central Indiana basketball, coming to you today from headquarters in Jeffersonville. And the second that this podcast is done, I am headed to Madison Grant High School for the Grant 4 Championship and back to Stage 22. Then we'll get back to our normal amount of interviews and guests and all kinds of fun stuff after I took a few days to be a little lazy, which is okay. We start today's scoreboard with local scores and scores of interest around the region, I guess we will call it, around the region, around the area. Well, but it's our local area, so you can't say around the area. So we'll say our local region and beyond. Then we'll go through each game in our game highlights. And then producer Susie will reveal Greg's and Michelle's predictions for Saturday's 9 local games. Before we get to our scores, please follow, like, subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. Don't forget, we're also on YouTube right now, so go there and subscribe at our YouTube channel. Class 2A number 11 Tipton beat Class A number 4 Carroll 49-46 to win the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. Kokomo Homeschool beat Clinton Central 76-37 in the consolation game. Number 2 Lawrence North beat 3A number 13 Marion 96-63 in the Central Indiana Sports Report game of the night. Madison Grant ended a 5-game losing streak with a 59-46 win over Cowan. 2A number 8 Manchester blew past Northwestern 72-33. Class 2A number 1 Wapahani is 2-0 in the Mid-Eastern Conference after an 85-41 win over Blue River Valley. And Union County edged West Dell 53-51 in a MEAC contest. Some other games of interest. Ben Davis beat Shelbyville 51-43 in the championship of the Max Wedig Holiday Tournament in Richmond. By the way, fantastic tournament. If you ever get a chance, go watch it. The Giants beat Class 2A number 2 Lures 55-41 in the semifinal round. Lures beat Richmond 60-49 in the third round. And number 8 Warsaw rebounded from a loss to Lures on Friday to finish 5th by beating Indianapolis Washington 76-30 and North Decatur 87-59. Jason Gardner Jr. scored 15 points in number 1 Fisher 62-56 win over Fort Wayne. In the Fisher's Holiday Tournament Championship, Portage beat Chesterton 55-44 in the consolation game. Brownsburg beat Marquette 61-42 and Bloomington South 51-38 to win the Bloomington South Holiday Tournament. Avon won the Huntington North Holiday Tournament by beating South Bend Adams 71-38. Braylon Mullen scored 29 points in Class 2A number 4 Greenfield Central's 67-21 win over Rushville. Class A number 15 Monroe Central beat Cambridge City 65-56. Class 2A number 11 Northeastern beat Newcastle 57-51. Number 3 Crown Point 72, Hamilton Southeastern 55. Logansport beat Wabash 56-31. Tippecanoe Valley 54, Plymouth 47. And Lebanon beat Glenbrook South, Illinois, 56-49 in overtime. Hey, Susie.
Yeah, Greg.
When you listen to podcasts, do you often think to yourself, I think this person would really like this podcast?
Yeah, I'm telling my friends about cool podcasts all the time.
Yeah. And if somebody's been thinking about somebody who might want to enjoy the Central Indiana Sports Report, what should they do?
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Class 2A, number 11, Tipton beat Class A, number 4, Carroll, 49-46 to win the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament Championship. Tipton led 21-14 at the half before Carroll outscored the Blue Devils 17-9 in the third quarter. Susie, I don't know if they named an official MVP of this holiday tournament, but if they didn't, let me just go ahead and name Grady Carpenter of Tipton the MVP of the Clinton Central Holiday Tournament. He went on his own 11-0 run early in the fourth quarter. He scored Tipton's first 14 points of the fourth quarter to help the Blue Devils win the game. Tipton is now 6-2. They've won 4 games in a row. Carpenter had a triple-double on Thursday night and came back with 32 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block shot in the championship game. He was 6 for 10 from behind the three-point line and 6 for 9 at the foul line. Senior Sam Quigley had 10 points and 4 rebounds. Tipton has won 4 in a row, and they're going to put that on the line on Friday when they go to 5-1 Mechaniquah, a very nice team. Carroll is now 7-1, their first loss of the season. Their 7 wins to start the season was their best since their 2021 team that won a regional championship. Here's Tipton Tribune sports editor Michelle Garmon talking with Tipton head coach Cliff Hawkins following the Blue Devils win.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a very hard-fought win, but a very satisfying weekend. And our kids played through a lot, just as the Carroll kids did. They were a very physical, tough team, and we had just enough.
I watched both games. I watched last night and tonight on the live stream. That fire delay was definitely a little fire alarm delay was interesting.
Yeah, it was just too cold, and they didn't know how to get it shut off, and it just was kind of a tough situation. But both teams had the same disadvantage, so you just go on from there. But I thought the key to the game was, how well we played in the second quarter, in terms of shutting them down to 3 points in the second quarter, and that we won by 3. So there you go.
And then the fourth quarter, I mean, my gosh, Grady had that first couple minutes, first 2.5 minutes. What a stretch! Those 3 back-to-back deep threes just kind of separated you guys a little bit.
Yeah, we got in the press and we got loose, and he was able to come down in transition and put him up from pretty far out. So it was really good.
And of course, this weekend was the start of you guys are pretty much on the road all of January, aren't you?
Tell them. Say that again now.
I said you guys are pretty much on. I mean, this was the start of a long month for you
I want
guys
to
because
meet
you're
out
pretty
here.
much on the road every
Go in
weekend.
first. Yeah, it's just we've just been on the road. It seems like forever, and then we continue the road streak. And but I tell you, our kids are road warriors, and they were awfully tough tonight, and we're really proud of them.
I thought both Grady and Sam did a nice job of just being leaders and coming up with either a big shot or a big pass when you needed it.
Well, we had
nights.
49 points, and between them, they had 42. So, yeah, they did a lot. A lot of our younger players didn't respond to this situation because of recognition issues, but they're going to get better as we show them things on film and as we practice.
Were you pleased with how they played overall, or did you see any kind of rust or anything from the holiday?
No, I thought last night in the first quarter maybe, but no, I think once we got focused in yesterday, I thought it was good. I don't think it had anything to do with rust tonight. I think it just had to do with our ability to recognize where the openings were and to get the ball there. And we have a weakness on this team with some recognition things, and we just have to continue to work at them and try to set up those scenarios for them to see. And we do that by physical practice, but also studying in the film room.
Carroll is 7-1. It's the first loss of the season for the Cougars. The 7 wins to start the season without a loss is their best since 2021 when they won a regional championship. They are now 1-0 in the Hoosier Heartland Conference and go to 4-4 Delphi on Friday. Class 4A number 2 Lawrence North beat Class 3A number 13 Marion 99-63. It was never competitive, but the final score was a little deceiving, with Lawrence North outscoring Marion 26-11 in the fourth quarter. Marion is now 6-2. The loss ends their 4-game winning streak. Senior Amar Rogers had 21 points, and junior Tim Jones finished with 20. Junior Logan Barnes added 9, and senior Kobe Johnson added 8 points in the loss. Marion hosts 4A number 6 Westfield on Saturday. Doesn't get much easier. Westfield is 6-1 and has won 4 games in a row. Lawrence North is now 7-1. They had 5 players in double figures. 4 of them were juniors. Brendan Miller scored 21. Senior Xavier Robinson, who's headed to Butler next season, added 18. Junior Kai McGrew 16. Junior Cameron Webster 15. And junior Jamar Thomas finished with 12. Madison Grant snapped a 5-game losing streak with a 59-46 win at Madison Grant on Friday. The Argyles led 22-10 after the first quarter and 34-17 at the half. After Cowan scored 20 points in the third quarter, the Argyles responded with a strong fourth quarter. Madison Grant's now 4-5 overall. Senior Ike Almeida led the Argyles with 14 points and 7 rebounds. Senior Xander Gillespie, junior Brock Barnhart, and senior Xavier Yagi scored 11 points apiece. Gillespie also had 7 assists. Barnhart also had 3 assists. Junior Luke Gilman had 9 points and 5 rebounds. Madison Grant is at 7-2 Shenandoah on Tuesday. The Raiders started 5-0. They're 2-2 in their last 4 games. Class 2A number 8 Manchester was not a very hospitable host. The Squires beat Northwestern 72-33. Manchester led 28-8 after the first quarter and 50-15 at the half. Northwestern is now 4-3 overall, 2-1 in the Three Rivers Conference. It's the Tigers' first ever loss in the Three Rivers Conference. They are at 3-4 Eastern on Saturday. Manchester is now 9-1 overall, 2-0 in the Three Rivers. Senior Gavin Betton scored 23. Senior Ethan Hendricks finished with 21. The Squires are at 3-3 Canterbury on Saturday. Class 2A number 1, Wapahani beat Blue River Valley 85-41. Wapahani led 31-6 after the first quarter and 53-14 at halftime. Wapahani is 10-0 for the second straight season. The Raiders have won 22 of their last 23 games. The only loss came in the Class 2A state championship last March against Brownstown Central. The Raiders are 2-0 in the MEAC now. Senior Nate Luce led Wapahani with 29 points. Junior Camden Bell added 18. Senior Brock Zickraff had 16. Junior Leighton Spence added 10. Wapahani hosts 4-3 Eastern Hancock on Friday. Blue River Valley is now 1-8 overall and 1-2 in the conference. They will take part in the Henry County tournament on Wednesday, starting with 7-2 Shenandoah. And Union County beat Westdale 53-51. It was close throughout. Westdale led 27-26 at the half, then trailed 42-41 after 3 quarters. The Warriors are now 4-4 overall and have lost 3 of their last 4. They were led by senior Josiah Love, who had 26 points. He was 4 for 8 from behind the 3-point line and 4 for 5 at the foul line. He also had 7 rebounds and 4 assists. Senior Grayson Mealy had 8 points, and junior Julian Carpenter finished with 5 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. Junior Carter Flynn contributed 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals. Westdale is also back in action on Saturday. They are at 7-1 try. Speaking of which, coming right up in a moment is Saturday's picks with Greg, Michelle, and now Susie. Union County is now 4-4 overall. They've won 3 of their last 4, and they host 2-8 Rushville on Saturday. Please stay tuned for Producer Susie with Greg's and Michelle's picks for Saturday's 9 local basketball games.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengel.
The boys basketball picks record stands at Michelle 49, Greg 41. And now on to Friday's games. 2A number 11 Tipton played Class A number 4 Carroll in the Clinton Central Invitational Championship. Greg had Tipton by 4. Michelle took the over. It was Tipton by 3, so point for Greg. Cowan played at Madison Grant. Greg picked Madison Grant by 16. Michelle took the under. Madison Grant won by 13, so point Michelle. The score is now 1-1. 3A number 13 Marion played 4A number 2 Lawrence North. Greg picked Lawrence North by 14. Michelle took the over. Lawrence North won by 36. Whoa, isn't that Marion team really good?
Yeah, really good. Tells you how good Lawrence North is.
So Michelle gets a point. 2A number 8 Manchester played at Northwestern. Greg had Manchester by 19. Michelle took the under. Manchester won by 39. Wow. Point to Greg. So it's 2-2. Class 2A number 1 Wapahani played at Blue River Valley. Greg picked Wapahani by 44. Michelle took the over. Wapahani won by 44. Of course, Greg's 44 actually means 44.5, so the point goes to Greg, but shouldn't it really be a half point?
It probably should be.
So the score now lays 3-2 Greg. Although technically, as we just said, it's 2.5-2.
No. Technically, it's 3-2.
It's 2.5. We just said you get a half.
But I'm actually taking the full point. Maybe I should take a half, but I'm taking the full point.
All right, so 3-2 Greg.
I picked the score exactly right.
Yeah, okay. Westdale played at Union County. Greg picked Union County by 1. Michelle took the over. Union County won by 2. Point to Michelle. Final score for Saturday is 3-3. Updated score is Michelle 49, Greg 41. Feel free to mention how good Greg is at picking games of teams in the area he's brand new in. You really want me to say that?
No, I wrote on the script.
Yeah.
You can feel free to comment on how good my picks were.
Yeah, we're just going to leave it at that, folks. You can make your own judgment call. And now for Saturday's picks. 4A number 6 Westfield are 6-1, playing at 3A number 13 Marion, who are 6-2 at 7:30. The Central Indiana Sports Report game of the night, incidentally. Greg has Westfield by 6. Michelle picked Marion. 2A number 10 Taylor, 8-0, versus Rossville, 7-3, play at 3 p.m. for Indiana Kitchen Classic at Delphi. Greg has Taylor winning by 6. Michelle picked the over. 4-4 Mississinewa play at Newcastle, who are 1-6 at 7:30. Greg has Mississinewa by 1. Michelle thinks that'll be more. 5-3 Tri-Central play at 1-5 Daleville at 7:30. Greg has Tri-Central by 5. Michelle has the over. 3-6 Muncie Central play at 3-4 Jay County at 7:30. Jerry Baumholtz 3 wins away from 600. Greg picked Jay County by 1. Michelle thinks it'll be more. 4-3 Northwestern play at 3-4 Eastern at 7:30. Greg has Northwestern by 11. Michelle picked the over. 7-3 Western plays at 6-2 West Lafayette at 5 p.m. Greg picked West Lafayette by 12. Michelle took the under. 8-1 Sheridan plays at 2A number 3 Park Heritage at 6:30. Park Heritage is 9-1. Greg picked Park Heritage by 18. Michelle thinks it'll be more. 4-4 Westdale plays at 7-1 Try at 7:30. Greg has Try by 3. Michelle thinks it'll be more.
A quick reminder that the Marion Westfield game that we took differently, I took Westfield, Michelle took Marion. That's worth 5 points. So those are the big ones. Thank you so much, Susie, for doing that. I think whenever Michelle and I can't get together, we're going to have you do that for us because you are the best. Also, and perhaps more importantly, thank you for listening. We always appreciate it. Okay, so Susie, I saw the other day on Twitter that the last day you're allowed to say Happy New Year is January 3rd.
Happy New Year, January 3rd.
Yeah, it's the last day you're allowed to say it.
Okay, well.
But today is January 4th, so are we allowed to tell our listeners Happy New Year?
No, you can't tell them. The rules are the rules. Apparently the 3rd is it. That's drawing the line in the sand. No Happy New Year for you.
All right, can I say I hope that they have the best 2025?
Yes.
2025 is their best year ever?
Yes, because it's just not new anymore.
Okay.
So.
Hey, everybody, I hope 2025 is your best year ever. And the Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media.
And I love Greg.
And I love Susie.